When we speak of Melchizedek, the king without lineage, who appears and disappears like a mysterious wind, who is he? A human or a supernatural being? He leaves us with a haunting question. How can someone exist beyond the bounds of time? Enoch, he wasn't merely one who walked with God, but the only one taken to heaven without tasting death. To attain such favor, how loyal must he have been? Or was his sacrifice so great that the heavens themselves bowed down? Elijah, the man of fire, lifted into the sky by a chariot of flames, leaving no trace. He journeyed to the unseen realm where mortals cannot enter. But was the price of that holiness solitude? What did Elijah forsake in exchange for immortality? 3 men, 3 different paths, leading to a miraculous destination. Melchizedek, Enoch, Elijah. Did they truly exist, or are they metaphors for immortal values? What choices led them to the immortality everyone desires, but cannot grasp? Suppose you could achieve immortality like them, but in return, you would sacrifice everything you hold dear. Would you be willing? Leave your answer in the comments, and let's uncover more of these unresolved mysteries together. Enoch, a man among a sinful world, chose his own path. He didn't just walk with God. It was a journey of faith and resilience in a world slowly descending into decay. He lived in an era blanketed by darkness and evil. Yet, instead of drifting with sin, Enoch held his faith firm, each step he took like a silent prayer. Enoch was no hero, nor did he seek honor. He lived quietly, but his heart burned with closeness to God. A choice, a road full of trials. In a life full of temptations and trials, he chose to move toward heaven. But how many have the courage to abandon the world as he did? It's a challenging question. So what did God see in him? Was it because Enoch lived perfectly? Or was it his willingness to live bound to the divine amidst a crumbling society? Living fearlessly, Enoch walked his path as if death was merely an illusion, never able to touch him. But have you ever wondered, did Enoch regret it? Leaving a world he once knew, was that a sacrifice he was always content with? Enoch found something more precious than fame and fortune, the peace of soul when walking with God, a peace the world could never offer. God saw into Enoch's heart, and it seemed he didn't want him to suffer or face death. He took him away, a release from the chains of human existence. People say he vanished from this realm, but in truth, he transcended the boundary between life and death, gracefully and peacefully. Enoch's departure raises a profound question for humanity. What truly matters most in this life, when wealth and power have their limits? He left the world without really leaving, as his faith echoes in the hearts of those who know his story. Enoch stands as proof that loyalty to the divine can unlock a doorway beyond death, an eternity beyond human understanding. But was his choice easy? We are all bound to this world, and how many of us are strong enough to give up everything for something unseen? Enoch has gone far, but his story remains as a lesson for all of us. It's a reminder that sometimes true life isn't in existing, but in the choices we make. When Elijah looked to the heavens, he felt a radiant brilliance from the fiery chariot, not fear, but a peace that filled him, as if he had finally found his true path. This passage from the Bible stops readers in their tracks, making them wonder, how could a man, even a prophet, leave the world in such glory? Elijah wasn't just a man, he was a symbol of courage, standing strong against threats and allowing God's light to shine through every word he spoke. He stood firm in an era filled with darkness when people's hearts grew cold. and faith was tested and lost amid meaningless pursuits. Every moment of Elijah's life was an unwavering belief that all things occurred by God's will, faith not only devout but of extraordinary strength. The chariot didn't just take Elijah to heaven. It carried the story of a resolute man who never stopped fighting for what was right. Imagine a heart as strong as his also experienced moments of weakness, but those very weaknesses made him even stronger. Perhaps the fiery chariot reminds us that when we've lived and fought enough, we deserve to rest and eternity. The question is, in this fleeting life, do we have enough courage like Elijah to stand up and find our destination in the light? Not everyone will have the gates of heaven open as they did for Elijah. Such an honor is for those who have lived without fear or regret. Life is short, but every action, every word, every moment holds eternal meaning, just as Elijah lived and gave of himself. Remember, one day, we too must cross that threshold. The question is, will we leave behind something worth remembering? Elijah chose his path, leaving a profound mark, not just a prophet, but a bearer of hope for those who've lost faith. Do we dare to believe in miracles as Elijah did? Do we dare to follow the call, even when we don't know what awaits us? Ask yourself, will you choose safety and a life of ease, or will you set forth with faith in the miracle waiting ahead? So who truly is Melchizedek? A supernatural figure or merely a symbol? In the shadows of history, did he actually exist, or is he just a product of imagination? As a king, Melchizedek is unlike anyone else. No father, no mother, no lineage, he stands alone, as if born from the very mystery of the universe. Why would an eternal priest like him appear and vanish in the Bible like a fleeting shadow? Could this be a hidden message from higher forces? Melchizedek is without beginning or end, that's what the Psalms say. So is he any different from an immortal soul, forever existing alongside the human world? People say he is an eternal priest. But what does eternity mean? Is it forever, or just a fragment of truth beyond human understanding? Imagine a priest who never dies, forever present in stories, as though he is a bridge between humans and higher powers. If even Jesus is compared to him, then does Melchizedek bear a mission we have yet to recognize? Perhaps he is part of timeless plans, a symbol of eternity, which we can only sense through spirit and faith. He appears as a priest but belongs to no tradition. So who sent him to this world, and for what purpose? Could he be a messenger, a symbol, or a reminder that we are merely a small part of the vast cosmic picture? Melchizedek stands between the human and spiritual worlds, like a door connecting the two. So is he still here, quietly observing? The questions about him swirl like an endless wind, pulling us into a vortex of wonder and reverence. Do we dare seek the truth? Melchizedek is a silent reminder of something we cannot grasp. He is the mystery, the shadow of what lies beyond human understanding. He embodies something that doesn't belong to time, space, or the limits of human thought. So in the end, should we search for him? Or is his eternal mystery what makes him so compelling? If you had the chance, would you face Melchizedek and ask him a question? Would you seek answers or keep the mystery as a part of your faith? Who is Enoch? Not just an ordinary man, he lived a life full of suffering and trials, yet never wavered from his faith. His steadfastness defied all temptations. In the stillness of night, Enoch looked up at the starlit sky, sensing God's guiding hand. Not everyone could hear it, but he deeply felt the silent call. The path he walked was one of absolute faith, each step, each prayer, like a heartfelt offering to God, a devotion without hesitation. Perhaps God saw Enoch's unwavering loyalty and profound connection, a bond that went beyond the Creator and creation, one of love, reverence, and gratitude. God opened heaven's gates for him, a response to his absolute trust. Death, the universal path, was not Enoch's fate. To Enoch, God wasn't just the Creator, but a friend, a confidant. He found comfort and strength in every trial, holding fast to his faith amid countless challenges. Enoch's faith serves as a lesson. Loyalty isn't easy, but if we are sincere, it can open doors to extraordinary wonders. Ask yourself, in a world full of turmoil, can we be strong enough to walk the path of faith, unshaken, as Enoch did? Many might think Enoch was special, chosen from birth, but perhaps his determination and loyalty made him worthy in God's eyes. Few dare to face the meaning of complete devotion. Enoch lived, loved, and trusted as if each day was an opportunity to draw closer to God. What did God see in Enoch to take him up to heaven without him facing death? Perhaps it was boundless love, beyond anything he had ever shown. Enoch's loyalty surpassed human limits, leading him to a place of eternity where pain and loss do not exist. Enoch's story asks us, can sincere faith and loyalty help us transcend death to touch immortality? For each of us, Enoch's story reminds us that the journey to heaven doesn't start somewhere distant. It begins with our own faith and sincerity. Enoch was chosen by God because he dared to live, to believe so fully that he had nothing left to prove. Is that what we are all searching for? So what about you? Are you willing to live with profound faith, absolute trust, and await the day to see God's wonders? Elijah was more than a prophet. He was a flame of truth in the darkness of human hearts, where indifference and loyalty faded amidst the temptations of idols and power. When Elijah stood upon the mountain, his heart blazed with fierce faith, ready to face any force that would try to shake his resolve. Through prayer, he called down fire from heaven, a vivid sign of divine intervention, demonstrating God's limitless power before a doubting crowd. But Elijah didn't summon miracles for personal glory. It was a challenge to blind faith and humanity's reliance on false powers. The descent of fire wasn't just a miracle. It was a symbol of choice, who would stay loyal to the truth and who would falter before temptation. Elijah did not seek admiration from the crowd. He was a messenger of the harsh choice between right and wrong, between good and evil. Facing a hostile king and kingdom, Elijah held fast to his faith, as if the entire universe stood behind him, supporting his sacred mission. To Elijah, human kingship and power were nothing compared to the Creator's might, where true loyalty resides. He endured harsh trials, betrayal, and hatred, yet his heart never wavered, always holding love and reverence for God. In the end, Elijah's devotion was not wasted. God chose to lift him, sparing him from death, granting him a radiant path to heaven. The moment Elijah was taken into heaven by a whirlwind, he seemed to merge into glory, a symbol of ultimate loyalty and sacrifice. God didn't just reward Elijah's loyalty, but sent a message to everyone. Life is meant to serve something greater than oneself. Elijah's mission did not end with him. It remains, an echo of truth through time, challenging the faith of each of us. We, who remain, do we have the courage to uphold our faith when surrounded by trials and temptations? Would you, if granted power, act like Elijah? Or would you choose the easy road, avoiding every hardship and pain? So what will you choose? Loyalty to the truth or compromise for ease? Share your thoughts. Your choice might inspire others. In the depths of time, his name echoes as a whisper of authority, yet it shines with an untouchable mystery. Melchizedek, the endless king. Who is he, and why does he transcend all boundaries of time? Some say he blessed Abraham, not for wealth or victory, but for faith, a mysterious and profound power that challenges the ordinary. But think, who could possess wisdom and strength unmatched, standing above all earthly powers, humble yet majestic, unknown yet renowned everywhere? Melchizedek is not just a king. He embodies justice and peace, an almost impossible union in a chaotic human world. Where does he come from? Stories say he had no ancestors, no successors. Like a breeze, he came and went, with no one knowing his origin or final resting place. As time passes, his image becomes etched deeper in the minds of those who dare to seek the truth. Are we blindly following what we never truly understand? He represents something far beyond earthly power, a kind of authority that cannot be conquered or precisely defined, one that even the strongest must bow to. But if he stands for absolute justice, can we humans bear the cost of it? The justice he embodies could make anyone tremble. Did he come to show us the limits of human understanding? Or is he a beacon for those willing to cross those limits fearlessly? Melchizedek doesn't belong to any nation or dynasty, so he isn't bound by human laws. He is not the king of a land, but of an eternal truth. In the end, who is truly brave enough to stand before Melchizedek and seek answers? The question is not who he is, but whether we can withstand the truth he offers. His presence brings both light and shadow, an awe-inspiring duality that only the resolute dare to explore. If he indeed has no end, what is his mission? Is there a hidden message in the haunting silence he leaves behind? We might call him the symbol of a kingdom that doesn't exist, where power is granted not by humans, but by righteousness and justice itself. Have you ever wondered, if you met him, would you have the courage to ask him about your fate? Or would you, like so many others, stand silent, captivated by his silent mystery? So, if he stood before you now, what would you ask? Would you seek the truth, or accept that some mysteries are best left unsolved? Are you ready to make that choice? The stories of Enoch, Elijah, and Melchizedek aren't just about their immortality. They are reminders of loyalty, righteousness, and unwavering faith. They prove that God always finds a way to reward those who choose to follow him and live noble lives. Have you ever wondered if God is still seeking faithful souls today? Enoch walked so closely with God that he was taken without facing death. But perhaps even more remarkable is his unwavering loyalty, a heart constantly thirsting for God's truth and justice. Elijah, who faced countless dangers, never hesitated to stand on the side of truth. Then, in a mystical moment, he was taken up in a whirlwind, a reward for his courage and steadfast faith. Melchizedek, the righteous king, like a vision of goodness, had no beginning and no end. He symbolizes immortality and serves as a model of a life with purity and high ideals. In their lives, immortality wasn't merely in the flesh. It was the immortality of timeless moral qualities, faith in good, and virtues greater than humanity. Today, can we still find such immortality? Can we live with the same ironclad faith and loyalty they did, even when facing difficulties and trials? Are we willing to live not for worldly glory, but to uphold ideals and loyalty to what we believe in, even if the world stands against us? For Enoch, Elijah, and Melchizedek didn't just live, they lived for something greater, something untouched by time or the trials of the world. Their lives were like torches, lighting the way for those who seek righteousness and a deeper meaning in existence. Can we follow in their footsteps? Immortality isn't just escaping death. It's rising above every temptation, every challenge, to live in line with what we truly believe. It's easy to speak of faith and loyalty, but are we willing to pay the price to live up to these values, like Enoch and Elijah did? An immortal life isn't one that lasts forever, but one that endures in memory, in the hearts of those who have witnessed courage and loyalty. Thinking of them, we realize that what's truly valuable isn't the body's endurance, but the timeless values they fought to protect. Today, perhaps no one is taken up to heaven as they were, but each of us has the chance to live a life of worth and deep meaning. So, are you ready to give up personal desires and comforts to live true to your beliefs and become a faithful soul like Enoch and Elijah? As you reflect on their lives, ask yourself, if God is still seeking faithful souls today, do you have the courage to be among them? If you want to delve deeper into the mysterious stories of the Bible and explore how they impact our lives today, hit the subscribe button, share this video, and don't forget to click the bell icon to ensure you never miss an episode. Let's journey together through the hidden mysteries within these ancient texts.